Hello, children. I know you're all super excited because today we are finally starting to learn about the Titanic and what happened to the passengers and the ship. Now, I know we all know a few facts about the Titanic already, and you've been telling us in class as well, but we are going to be using historical sources, so historical evidence, to help us to answer some questions about the past. And our very first question today is going to be, did everyone in the past have the same experience? Did everyone in the past have the same experience? Because it is our very first lesson, we are going to watch a little video. I'm not going to tell you what it is about yet, because I would like you to think about these three questions. What do you notice about the color and the sound in the video? Who is in the video and what is happening? So what do you notice about the color and the sound? Who is in the video and what is happening? Now, children, what did you notice about the color and the sound in the video? That's right. If you said that it was black and white and there was no sound to it, there was a little bit of background music, but that has been added much later on. There was no sound of, we couldn't hear anybody chatting, we couldn't hear the crowds cheering, we couldn't hear anybody talking, we couldn't hear even the engine of the ship, could we? Now, children, what was happening in the video? That's right, it was the Titanic. It was the footage of the Titanic before and at the time when it left the port of Southampton. We are extremely lucky to be able to live to live so close to Southampton and being able to visit the Sea City Museum, hopefully when it opens. So, who is in the video? That's right, you spotted Captain Smith very well. Did you see any passengers? Well done. Did you spot any crew? Brilliant, well done. So, children, what do you think? Did everyone on the Titanic have the same experience? Now, let's have a look together at the picture of the Titanic. So we have the Titanic here, and we're going to have a look at how the different parts of the Titanic were used. Now, I know that you are very quick children and very clever. You would have spotted in the video that it mentioned that there was first, second, and third class of the Titanic. And we're going to be actually thinking today about what did it mean to be the first, second, or third class passenger. Would it be the same? Would it mean that you all had the same experience? Now let's start by looking this cross section of the Titanic. And this key tells us that everything that is in blue was available to the first class passengers. Can you spot where the first class quarters are? That's right, they are right here in the middle of the ship at the very top of the ship. And they are rather large, aren't they? Now let's search for the second class quarters, which are green. That's right, here they are towards the back of the ship. And they are considerably smaller than the first class quarters. And children, this one is a tricky one because there aren't many of them. Can you search for the third class quarters? That's right, we well spotted. There were third class quarters just above the engine room, and then right at the back and right in the front, basically in the places where nobody else really wanted to be. And now if we have a look at another picture of the Titanic, which looks like this, you see this is the diagram of the Titanic, and what we see in the picture is what was in this rectangle here, this rectangle. So what would we have if we were a first class passenger? We'd have first class lounge, reading and writing room, a private promenade. That means that nobody else was allowed to go on it. Gymnasium. A gymnasium is the long word for gym. So basically a place where you can go and exercise. A grand staircase, first class state rooms, and first class suite rooms. That means rooms which also have a bathroom attached to them. So do you think that first, second, and third class passengers had the same experience on the Titanic? Now let's have a look what your task is going to be, children. You will need to find 6 documents. They are all in your Titanic pouch, in your Titanic plastic pocket. And they look like this. They're kind of in the middle of your Titanic pack. So we need to look for a sheet which says first class, a sheet which says second class, and a sheet which says third class. And on that sheet, all of those sheets have some questions on them. Who traveled on the Titanic? Why were they on board? What was their accommodation like? And what was there for them to do while on board? And these are all the questions we're going to try to answer today. You will also then need to carry on looking through your pack, but try to keep everything else in the pack because you will need it for other lessons. You will need to find the photographs of the 3 passengers. These are photographs of 3 real passengers from the Titanic. You will also need to look for a speech bubble resource, sheet 6, and you will need to look for resource sheet 7 with more speech bubbles. You'll need to look through those speech bubbles, read them, cut them all out, so cut out all the speech bubbles and the photographs and place them without gluing. This is very important, children. No gluing yet. Without gluing, place them based on whether you think they are to do with first class, second class, or third class passenger. Don't do any gluing yet because you are going to be our detectives today. And you are going to be watching and reading, finding information on the websites. And that links beautifully with our iSearch unit on searching websites on the internet that we started to learn about on Monday. So when you come, I'm going to include 2 links to the tapestry post. The first one is to the BBC Bite Size. You have a lovely web page about what was life like on board Titanic. You need to read through this information, and based on the information that you find on this web page, then check whether you were correct the first time, whether you sorted all your photographs and the speech bubbles correctly into first, second, and third class. If not, then this is your chance to check them and check your work and change them. You can watch this lovely video, very useful video with information about first, second, and third class accommodation. And then you can also play a little game of who traveled in different class on the Titanic. Finally, another link that is going to be included is the link to this video, which shows you the real pictures of the Titanic and different interiors of first, second, and third class. Now, I have one question for you with regards to this. See how much of the Titanic was dedicated to the first, second, and the third class. Now, once you've read through this web page, and if you like, you've watched through this video, then you need to go back to your work, to your sorting, and then check whether you were right and meant your work accordingly. So if you can see that you had some information in incorrect class, then change it and swap it around before you glue it. So you only glue all your speech bubbles and the photographs once you have read the information on the BBC Biteside web page and watched a video about a different accommodation. Then, once you've done all the gluing, you can add any other facts that you have found out through your research and through the watching of the videos. Anything else that you have found out about the life of first class, second class, and third class passenger children. And see, what would you say did everyone in the past have the same experience? Did all the passengers on the Titanic have the same experience? Very much looking forward to seeing all your work on the tapestry, children. Bye for now.